This episode's brought to you by mobcasting.org, where online content creators showcase their work.
All right, this is Brandon Hayes with Anthony Dinar. Today we're taking a look at Wonder Boy in Monster World, the Genesis Wonder Boy.
You played this as a kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have very fond memories of this game.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking. No, this actually was pretty cool. I think very highly of this game. In fact, this is a good time to talk about the new Wonder Boy, Monster's Trap, which we did do the Sega Genesis version because we...
Sega Master System.
Oh, Sega Master System version because we grew up with that one. They're remaking that, which is really cool. So we thought it'd be interesting to take a look at another Wonder Boy game in the franchise, which that franchise, good fucking God, is that a mess. It starts out with like...
Adventure Island.
Yeah, and then like the Wonder Boys are all over the place.
Yeah, it really is a nightmare. I would like to see someone put together a video of just the chronology of the entire series.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it was Adventure Island, and then it split off, and it became like two different things where Wonder Boy went one way and Adventure Island still continued.
Yeah.
Yet some of the Adventure Islands look like Wonder Boy. They share a lot of the same villains. It's a mess. And then now we have even more confusion because not only is Wonder Boy 3 getting remixed and coming out on a bunch of different systems like the Switch and whatever, we have a Monster Boy game coming out soon for the Switch and possibly some other systems. It looks great. It looks like a brand new version of Wonder Boy. And what it is like some of the people, I believe, who worked on Wonder Boy now went off and they decided to make their own thing. But they don't have the rights to the Wonder Boy name. So they're like, oh, let's just... The series is already a confusing mess. Let's just make a whole brand new thing.
Yeah, it's so messed up that, like, you would think that maybe that's even legit, you know?
Well, it kind of sort of is.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, and it's like intended to be that way because they certainly haven't been taking care of the franchise so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at these bad guys. It's very similar to the Sega Master System one.
Yep. And like we mentioned, we did a long play of that a long-ass time ago. We did a long play of this a long-ass time ago. This footage has been sitting on the desktop for can't even tell you how many months.
Oh, look at that. I'm swimming. Isn't that crazy?
I forgot you could do that. Yeah, so like we're kind of watching this footage again for the first time. Because it's been so long.
Yeah, I don't know why you felt it necessary to tell everyone that.
Because we got a lot of time to kill. And I also want to point out how lazy you are.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this too. You know what? I'm the one playing, motherfucker.
Yeah. Although, like, you'll see, this isn't, like, just the straight uncut footage. Like, I edited out a shit ton of stuff because, these games are long. And I did edit out, or I didn't even bother recording the entire day-long process of me just grinding gold one time. Yeah. So if you're watching the gold count at the top there, you just got 45 gold. At a certain point, it's just gonna jump to like 50,000 or whatever it was. Because I just sat there all day. It was so boring. It was like, oh, I remember doing this when I was a kid.
Yeah. But I really liked the one for the Master System, and I can't wait to play the remake of it. It's like hand-drawn, looks like. It's pretty neat.
It looks really good, and I like that they didn't censor it. Like, that pig is still smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. I was worried about that, actually.
That's great. And, like, this is probably asking too much, but I would like to see some new stuff put in, but it's probably just a straight transfer.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, is like, you can't spend that much time and not take any, like, creative liberties, right?
No, I mean, you totally can.
You gotta do so. I'm being facetious. Like, you have to add something, right? I mean, we said, if you get to the very end of our review, like this game for the Master System really was missing, like, that final act.
Yeah, the Master System one was very short. And this one is kind of short, too. Like, it didn't take us too terribly long. It took us longer to do this one. It's certainly more complex.
Yeah.
It's got a lot more backtracking and shit.
Well, I mean, the system can even handle more. I mean, it's the Genesis. So, I mean, you would expect that.
Meanwhile, though, a long time ago, I didn't own a Genesis when this came out. I owned the Master System, loved Wonder Boy, and then introduced a friend to Wonder Boy, and so then he was like, oh, this is so great. So then when he got a Genesis, this was one of the first games he bought. And so then I'd have to go to his house and we'd play it together, and it took us months and months to beat. And it's one of those things that's kind of funny because, why did it take us so long? Because, we cranked this out relatively quickly as adults. Yeah. But also we had a walkthrough, I guess, so we kind of cheated. But the thing is, I really loved this game so much that by the time I got a computer and then I heard about emulators, this was the first game I ever emulated. And then I played it with the fucking keyboard because I didn't have a controller for my computer, and I beat it. And then now playing it this time with the Genesis and the controller and stuff, I'm thinking how the fuck did I have the patience to play this with a keyboard?
I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. You know what? I'm just gonna say that you didn't beat it.
No, I did. I don't believe me. I don't care. I'm gonna lose my street cred. Oh no, people won't think I'm cool anymore.
That's okay. You never had any street cred.
Exactly my point.
What's really cool about this game is you get these little helpers. It's fucking awesome.
So that's what's following you right now, is that little fairy. And at first they don't really help all that much. Later on, you get a dragon who shoots fire, and he's pretty helpful. He actually helps you fight. She's hitting that guy, but it is really not doing any damage to him.
Yeah. Well, it is the first helper, but it is the best part about this game. The best part about the Dragon's Trap, or the one for Master System, is you actually turn in to other creatures. Again, I don't know if it's nostalgia or what. That one's always going to be my favorite, but I do like this.
This is funny, by the way. So you got this ocarina, and man, we fought to make this work because you can go to Game FAQs and it'll tell you in order to open the door, you need to press A, B, C, whatever. It tells you the whole thing. We were using the Retro Freak to play this, and then we were using the controller that came with. So we had to write down to map out the buttons so that we knew which buttons to press, because of course they're different.
I almost gave up here,
and then it didn't work. And we kept fucking it up. So then we eventually just grabbed a Genesis controller and we started playing it. And then it still didn't work.
Yeah, because we just suck.
Well, it's not that we suck. It's the system is stupid. You got to listen to the notes as you're playing them.
Yeah.
And you got to wait for the note to finish before you press the next button. You got to really play it like a fucking musical instrument.
Yeah.
We were pressing it too soon, or not soon enough. Having a lot of problems with those doors. Yeah. But like you said, we almost quit there.
Yeah.
But then I was determined, no, we gotta play this through, have a long play, because I really like this game.
Yeah, but we wanted the Retro Freak because it had the HDMI capabilities. I mean, I have a Genesis, but it's not gonna look as good.
We try almost never to use the original hardware on those older systems unless we have to, because, like you said, they're gonna look like shit otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pixelated, and
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can definitely tell a difference.
Yeah. Well, when it's side by side, you can definitely tell. Which I don't know how many people are even paying attention to the amount of work that we go through to make sure that it looks good.
Yeah, no one appreciates this.
What is he doing? What's that animation? He's zipping his back like a woman's dress and letting these little guys come out.
Or they're coming out of his mushroom anus. I have no idea.
God damn it.
What? You asked me a question. You gotta say, I'm gonna ask you a question. No pornographic answers. If you want something clean and decent.
So this is just Anthony talking. Don't have a co-host today. So it's just me.
So keep going.
No.
So, yeah, like I said, we used a walkthrough for this. I mean, we could have tried to muddle our way through, but I didn't want to have to edit a bunch of like we already had a ton of footage as it was, going straight from point to point. If we weren't recording this, I would have tried to do it old school style.
No, I would have already given up. The music would have broke me to go online.
No. I definitely would have looked up the ocarina stuff, but because actually in the game, if you do it properly, I think you're supposed to talk to a woman who tells you what the notes are.
Yeah, I'm sure. But still.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a combination of
fucking bad guys just respawning like that.
Yeah, well, that's typical with Wonder Boy, is the respawning
true.
Enemies at inappropriate times and way too quick and stuff. But anyway, like I was gonna say, I guess it's a combination of old age and laziness or something, not wanting to play a game without any help whatsoever. Like, we used to do this all the time as kids.
Yeah. But
what happened? You used to be cool.
Yeah, nope. There's something though, like, I don't know how to describe this. Like, there's a trolling ability to games, and as like you get further on in the history of gaming, like the more and more recent the game is, like the less trolling there statistically is.
Well, they wanted these games to last a long ass time.
Yeah, and it's like it's sort of disingenuous, because I would have had a better time if it was quicker, just because I don't need the constant trolling. Like, one of the worst games ever is the Dragon's Lair, not the one that's like the movie, where it's press left or right or whatever, like the one that's for Nintendo, regular Nintendo.
Oh, no one's playing that.
But I mean, that's I'm showing you the worst example ever. You take 2 feet and in distance, and then you die, and you got to remember that, and so then you can get 2 more feet ahead, and you have to continue that process to get anywhere. Like that's one extreme, I admit, but that's the point of these games, is they got pretty fucking trolly. And although Wonder Boy franchise isn't all that bad, but I mean, there's a lot of grinding here. There's a lot
Look
of
at
stuff.
this. I sped this up. Why does that need to be that long?
I don't know. And going downstairs isn't as easy as it looks. I had a little trouble with that there, but still, it looked way easier than it really is. I still have traumatic experience, thinking about this game.
Do you think sometimes the programmers are just being dicks on purpose?
Yes.
Like, these fucking kids.
Yes.
Enjoy this, pricks.
Yeah, they're just having a good time being fucking pricks.
Or they get together and they have just little meetings where they're like, hey, guess what I did today? I did this fucked up thing in Mega Man. It's super difficult. It's going to make kids just shit themselves in anger. And then some guy's like, I can top that. And they just try to outdo one another.
It's a game amongst themselves. Yeah. That's fucked up. But yeah, no, absolutely that happens. I'm fucking 100% sure that happens.
It might also be Nintendo or Sega or whoever was in charge at the time, depending on the game, saying to the developers, you need to make this harder so that we have a reason to have the kids call our 1-800 numbers and buy our magazines and shit like that.
Think of that. That's true. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
This is too straightforward. Make it more complicated.
Yeah. God, that sucks.
They have a little test audience of 10 kids or so,
and Jimmy eat it too fast.
Yeah, and they're like, if 4 kids, at least 4, don't break their controllers in anger, then we need to take this back and do some more fine tuning.
Our controller sales went up this quarter. Yes. Oh, that's funny.
Did you ever slam the controllers down physically as a kid?
I never really did that. I had friends that would just fucking obliterate them, and I never understood that. But I've gotten mad and continued or finished to break a controller because you know what I mean. Like you start to play and it's not responding right or something's fucked with the controller. Like there's a little bit of satisfaction of finishing the job. Or while you show the replacement controller what happens when it fucks up.
Well, that's what you always gotta do. Like if you're gonna break anything electronic, then you save that and you show it to the new electronic device that's you're replacing it with.
Yeah.
You're like, this will become you.
Yeah.
If you don't work, I will break you just the same.
You're my favorite, but this could always happen. You're terrible.
You're the one who just said you did it. So anyway, this game, this is a kind of frustrating part, this little platforming thing. Just because you get these ghosts popping out of nowhere like that, and they'll swing around and hit you, and there's that knockback.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying. But it's, typical video game nonsense.
Yeah. Hey, this sort of looks like Mayan whatever. There's a brand new game coming for the Super Nintendo from what is it, Collector Vision. The guys from Canada are I guess some of them are from France, but anyway, so all the production and work comes from Canada though. They just announced that they finished it, so that'd be kind of cool to play a brand new yet retro type of game. And it looks
I was just gonna say, so for all you guys who are super anxious to play that unnamed Mayan game, Mayan mystery,
it's called Sydney Hunter.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah. They just
talking about now.
They just announced that they finished it. It's not for sale. I mean, I can't buy it, but it's it's right around the corner. I mean, they've been fucking teasing us.
Yeah,
this game for years.
That's why I don't care about the news. now that I know what you're talking about, I'm like, oh, so what? Here's the thing. If you're going to do something, you're going to release something, don't start promoting it from day one.
Yeah.
Because then you get that burnout. But, here's the problem with that. I don't know if they're doing crowdfunding, but that's a big part of crowdfunding is you need to let everyone know right away that you're working on something. But like I said, then it leads to burnout, and it leads to people getting super hyped about something, and then by the time it finally gets released 3-4 years later or whatever,
no one cares anymore.
Well, not only that, some people do care, but then they're like, oh my god, this didn't live up to the 3 or 4 year hype.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure it'll be the same thing. Another problem that they do is they have too many what's that saying, things in the iron in the forge or whatever. They got too many games that they're working on. They got some Penguin shit that no one really cares or wants.
Yeah, it's just focus on one project
and get it done. Yeah. What the fuck is this bullshit? You can't see anything. Are we playing this wrong? Do we need a candle?
Well, there you go. You found the lamp.
But I mean, is there a way to get there with a lamp first, or is that the way you have to do it?
No, that's the way you have to do it. And
so stupid.
Yeah, that's something I really don't like in games is when they turn off the lights on you.
Yeah.
Not really avoiding that boulder very well.
You know what? This isn't Indiana Jones. It's Wonder Boy, okay?
Knowing this franchise, Indiana Jones might have been a spin-off at one point. In fact, this is the fourth one now that's Wonder Boy 4, technically. This is the first time they ever gave him a name. It was Shion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before he was just Wonder Boy, as far as I know. And then Wonder Boy 5, which was only released overseas, you play a girl. It's still called Wonder Boy, but you're a girl. It has nothing to do with him. It's a girl that's she's got, it looks like she's in the Middle East, sort of.
Is that the one where she whips her hair as a weapon?
No.
Oh.
I don't think she does that, but I know what you're talking about. That's a different game.
Oh.
As far as I know, it might be part of this franchise.
Like someone really does need to put in like the work to.
That's I keep saying like someone needs to make this video, and so do you. And the thing is, like, neither of us want to do the work.
Well, because one, it's too it's too hard.
No, you could figure it out.
It would take so much work, and no one would appreciate it.
Yeah. Who knows? It might become this viral hit for all the Wonder Boy fans out there.
Yeah, like I'm also like too afraid to get something wrong on it, and like then all I get is
then
hate.
The nerds fucking attack you.
Yeah, so like you're fucked. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
It's a very thankless job being on YouTube.
Yeah, it really is. But like the franchise has some cool stuff that I would love to play. Like we have a TurboGrafx 16, and there's a game that it's on a Hue card, and it looks pretty cool, and it's Wonder Boy, and the guy like who made it, I can't remember what the story was. Like he wanted to make something else, and he ended up making this, and so like he incorporated like the game he wanted to play in Wonder Boy. So it's like this weird like hybrid, and it's the only one that's kind of like that.
Is it that one that's like a shoot 'em up for a while?
No. Like how it goes like back and forth for like this, and then it's a shoot 'em up, and then it goes back to this. No, I know what you're talking about though. But the one I'm thinking of, it's like it's only in Japanese, and too much of this game requires reading, where you couldn't play it without a translator. So it sucks. It's, unless someone makes a translated copy, and I remember looking for it at the time, and I couldn't find it. I like how he finds you gold. That's cool.
That's this guy's special ability. So he never helps you fight, I don't think. He just finds you money.
Yeah, still cool though. But yeah, it's only in a different language, so
yeah,
it sucks. Looks cool though.
There's a lot of games that look really good, but they're only in Japanese or whatever, and then you can't play them because they're too text heavy.
Yeah.
Crossed a lot of potential games off our list because of that.
Yeah. Some funny ones too, like stupid shit, like online dating, video games. Like I thought that was kind of funny, but it's only in Japanese. Like, why would you play that as a game? Like, you could do that online, or you don't do it at all. You know what I mean? Like, why would you play it as a game?
What, the dating sims?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's strictly like
it's because
you on a computer. You're not. It's not like The Sims. It's
no. It's like a fantasy thing. Like, if you're a fucking big loser nerd and you go up to these beautiful women with big tits and you're like, hey, let's go out, they'll just like laugh at you at best, maybe smack you or something. They're not going to talk to you. But in those games, you're talking to these beautiful women and they're actually paying attention to you. And you still got to buy them like tons of gifts and shit. That's part of the game. But like, they respond to you. And so that's part of the thrill. It's like, oh my God, it's like fiction. They're talking to me. It's crazy.
But like, I take it as like, if you're doing it online, like there's someone for everyone, right? Because like the world is so fucking big. You're bound to talk to someone. Like, if you wanted to make a pen pal, you could make one.
Yeah,
right?
But they're gonna be ugly pen pals. They're not gonna be perfect 10s like those girls.
Guess. I don't know, but you're not doing them though either way, because
I'm not doing the girls in porno videos, but I still like to watch those.
But you don't even get to see anything cool in the fucking online dating sim.
I don't know, maybe some of them are cool. Maybe they're all just cock teases like Leisure Suit Larry games. I wouldn't know. I've never played one of those. And it's not because they're beneath me or whatever. It's just I can't fucking read Japanese. I'd give one a try. Hell, like I spent like $100 on that goddamn volleyball.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive volleyball.
Yeah.
TNA volleyball. And then what was that other one that I like?
TNA volleyball.
I spent a bunch of money on that that Naked Samurai game that I can't remember what the name of it is now. Senran Kagura.
Yeah, you bought a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm a dummy.
Man, these bosses suck. Like,
Yeah.
I remember struggling so hard at beating this level.
Well, plus you got down here with like hardly any life, and you saw at one point when you died, you got an elixir that filled up some of your hearts. You ran out of that, so yeah, this was a tough one because you couldn't just like you could have gone back to a previous save state, but you didn't want to do that because that would have been a big waste of time.
No, because I'm pure and I don't want to use save states.
No, we used save states.
That's beneath me.
In fact, I've got like, I don't know what, let's be conservative, like 12 hours of footage of Amagon that you want me to edit down into like a 5-minute video.
Oh man, that fucking game blows.
We're playing
There's no
Amagon
way
on
we would have
NES.
gotten that far if it wasn't for save states. God, that game sucked.
You're like, edit out all the little save state bubbles. I'm like, I don't think I can. There's too many, and it's not like we're gonna like lie to the audience. They're gonna know you didn't get that far in Amagon, even if I was a master editor.
Yeah, that's funny.
So earlier,
God,
when you
love
hit the
throwing
water,
me under the bus, man. You're a prick.
that's what I do. So earlier in this game, you hit the water and you were just swimming on the surface. You had to get this trident, and then that allows you to swim underwater. So now,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yep. So now you've got this this trident. You're swimming underwater, and the whole underwater level is a maze. Like every time you jump underwater, it's all these bricks in your way, and it really sucks.
Someone like took the time and made a map of all of this, and it still was confusing.
Yeah. Yep, and we used that map quite a bit.
Yeah, we did.
All those maps.
Yeah, I was
But these
pretty
especially.
angry playing this game. Like, I got pretty frustrated.
Yeah, there was a lot of rage quitting. We pretty much played in like half-hour segments. That was in part because of the rage, and also because we were using a crappy computer at the time.
Yeah, that's right. So, like, hardware, capabilities really limited us to, like, the amount that we could record at a time. That was a pain.
Because it would take like what 2, maybe 3 hours to render a half-hour section of video.
Yeah, it made no sense.
That computer was so old, and it was just like on its last leg. So then we got a brand new computer toward the end of this playthrough. So then we could play like an hour or so at a time. But it's funny because like we would do that half-hour thing just in case it corrupted the footage.
Which does happen.
It does happen, and it did happen at one moment in this game. And it was at a really difficult part, and we had passed it, and there was no way we were going to go replay it again. So at a certain point, you're just going to see this little footage missing, like, title card. And we'll talk more about that later, like, if we can remember what was missing there. But it's not important.
Yeah. I like how the enemies are all the same. Like, they look different, obviously. Like, they're different sprites. But, I mean, this is a crab. I think you still had, like, underwater. Like, those, like, fucking sea people. That was cool. I really wish that when you got money, it didn't, like, cover such a big portion of the screen. Like, when that money thing is up, like, half the screen is fucking stats.
Yeah, you've already got that big fucking display to begin with, which is
Yeah.
unnecessary. It just doesn't even need to tell you. You know, you've got the gold counter, 3,506. Like,
Yeah.
So, there's the jump.
Yeah. Nice timing.
Yeah. So I just spent a couple hours grinding in between that cutscene. Yeah, so like it could just easily add to that number, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, in the Sega Master System version, you actually turned into like a fish person, right?
Piranha Man.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. And so like that's how you could go underwater. If you fell in the water before you were Piranha Man, did you die instantly? I can't remember.
No, I think you just bobbed on the surface.
No, you didn't. You couldn't swim in the Master System version.
Okay, well then you died.
Yeah. But I couldn't remember if you fell down and then, like, drowned, like, slowly died, or if it was, like, a quick death.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been so long since we played that game.
Yeah. That art looks amazing, don't you think? The
new stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out, I think, like, the end of April or something. So.
April 15th, 14th?
Why would you do anything on tax day?
I don't know, like to try and cheer people up after the government's just destroyed you and your bank account.
Give you reason to live so you don't commit suicide. No,
I mean, some people get your tax returns and they're all happy, like, oh, look, I got money. It's like, yeah, they just gave you your own money back.
Yeah, you gave them a free loan.
I don't even do that. I give my taxes, like, I pay at the end, like, in one lump sum. So
you sound like a libertarian. You're evil.
No, just crotchety old man who's going to be poor soon. Stockpiled on the ramen, so I got something to eat for the next few months.
Oh boy. So, like, speaking of, like, taxes being dumb, like, I always think it's pretty stupid when, like, those guys on the side of the street have the sign and they're like, hey, it's tax day!
Oh, don't you want to just punch every one of those guys in the face?
Like, no one's happy about this, man.
No, some people are, like I said, those dummies.
Even the ones
who
like, get the tax returns, like
they don't like having to do the paperwork and pay the fee for the paperwork.
Yeah, it still cost you money. You still had to pay taxes at the end of that. You know, like, there's a big, like, libertarian thing, like, taxes is theft, and it's like, I don't think that that's, like, true, like, in libertarian fashion. I think that's more of, like, an anarchist or whatever, but, like, I do think that taxes is extortion. I think that's real because, you know, you're being forced with a gun.
You know what's funny?
I just want to make sure that, like, you don't think I'm crazy because I'm making fun of, like, taxes. Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity offender. I want to make fun of, you know, libertarians.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't want to say anything bad about taxes because I don't want the IRS coming after me. And then also, we got a lot of time to fill, so I really don't want to stop you, but I also don't want to talk about politics and libertarian bullshit and Republican Democrat bullshit. I don't care.
It all sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, any other thing you want to talk about?
I don't know. Can it be dirty? No, I don't know.
It can be anything that's not political. I'm okay with dirty pornographic talk. That's fine.
Dirty pornographic political talk?
How about that Hillary Clinton?
You know what? Yeah, there's all... That inflamed anus, bad guy.
Speaking of Hillary...
You know, they say, like, there's a porn like fetish out there for everyone, and it's like it's on like a porn website. You got the big list or something like that. Like, do you think that exists? Like, political porn?
I'm sure. I don't know who would get off on that, but I'm sure it exists. I mean, there's like poop porn and stuff. So
oh, that's true. So, like, I don't know, like, political porn, like, if I'm, like, a Trump fan or a Hillary fan, I want to see my opponent, like, be dominated, but then it's all rapey and uncomfortable, right? So,
yeah, let's change the topic. Take it back. No politics of any kind anymore. I mean, I guess we could talk about this game, but that would... be too difficult, right?
You know what is funny is, like, the trident or the spear, when he gets to twirl it, that is, like, the best thing about this game.
It's kind of like a shield.
Yeah.
Offensive shield.
I mean, it's still, like, it's not perfect. Like, they'll get past the so many pixels of protection and still hit you, but see, like that.
Yeah, that's why they throw all these enemies are really frustrating, but that's sort of a staple of the franchise, at least as far as, like, Wonder Boy 3 is concerned.
Yeah,
I haven't really played the other two. We own them, but I haven't played them yet. But Yeah, they're really annoying because they're super jumpy.
Yeah. You know what's weird is like we just got on an elixir too. It's really strange about the elixirs. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's totally random, right?
Yeah. So like if you were playing Zelda, you'd have a fairy and it would give you so many hearts every single time.
Right.
This one's just a total crapshoot. So like you could get that elixir and think you're doing really well. You get killed and then it fills up 1 heart.
Yeah.
Like,
or
oh,
all
thanks.
Hearts. Yeah, it's really strange.
And I can't remember if it's totally random number generator like at the point of death. Like I don't think we ever tested that out. Like if we only got 1 heart and we're like fuck this and we went back to a previous save state
and then tried it again and like does it give you the same thing? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, we never tried that.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Where's like the science aspect of you?
Here's the thing: no one's watching our footage to figure out how to beat a game. Like, no one's like, "Oh, how did they get past this part?"
They only listen for the dirty political talk, the awesome commentary. Oh, we're terrible.
Yeah, that's why no one watches. So, especially these long videos, like you can totally see the stats on these videos that are longer. No one really likes. It's pretty much like 9 minutes and under is the sweet spot. Yeah. Like once you hit the 10, once you get into those 4-digit numbers, like 10, 0, 0 and above, then people are like, "Oh,
it's really weird.
It's not going to take me that long to poop. Come on." Because that's pretty much all anyone does when they watch YouTube videos is they poop a lot.
Wow, man, everyone's a lot more regular than I am, because like I watch.
Well, no, there is a lot of.
You watch a lot of videos, dude. Like, are you just in the bathroom all the time?
I have a problem. No, I do watch a lot of videos, and I'm one of the few who actually sits down and will watch a video. I'm talking about like most people will be like, "Hey, I got 5 extra seconds to like watch a video because I've got to poop or I'm at work, so I can watch like an hour-long bunch of videos because I'm at work and I'd rather do this than working. But at a moment's notice, I got to be able to look away and shut off the computer or whatever, put away my phone, pretend to work." So they like those like little short things.
Yeah,
they like the clickbaity crap like top 5 whatever.
Yeah.
Top 5 list or like the best movies, the worst movies, just the stupid repetitive crap that I don't understand how it's still so popular.
Well, because
like, you would think everyone would be sick of it by now.
There's just too many people, and so you get a video that gets 1 million views. I mean, think about it. There's 300 million people in the United States. So, and that's just the States. So, like, it makes sense why it appears to be so popular. But
I mean, how many times can you watch like the top 10 best NES games?
Yeah, it sucks, and that really is what drives me to do something different, and that something is some like I want to see what this game is like, but I don't want to hear some asshole spend 4 minutes in front of the camera before I get to see like any gameplay. It's like, yeah, I can fast forward, and I do, but like I'm looking for something in particular. I want to know, like, is this a game that I'm gonna buy? And then I bail. Like, I may not watch the whole thing unless it's someone that I like, and then I'll watch the whole video because I like them, and they could be reviewing any game. So like, I already know that I'm a demographic that's so small. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that really care about, I don't know, watching something for what someone else put into it, or watching it because like I'm gonna get some information out of it. And those top 10s, like, you're not gonna discover something cool and unique. It's gonna be all the same shit. That's just
the most generic, soulless, disposable crap.
Yeah, that just, everyone knows.
This is, and we're probably pissing off people if they are watching this. Like, you guys don't ever talk about the game. It's like, well, the game is kind of, sort of, sometimes just a lame excuse to sit here and talk.
Well, it's saying it for itself. Like, you're watching it. There's lots of stimuli here happening. So, like, the game has different aspects to it. Like we were talking about, like other games in the franchise, like trying to map it out with how it starts out with Adventure Island and then goes to Wonder Boy, and then like you talked about how it went to Monster Boy. And it's funny, he never turns into a man. But like that's information that the average person doesn't know. And to me, that's more valuable than talking about how I'm climbing the rope, you know? Like, you're watching me climb the rope. Like,
poorly.
Barely, but it's happening. So, like, there's a special kind of person, I guess, that it takes to put content together and not be either obnoxious or redundant. And
you know how many top YouTubers are super fucking obnoxious too? And I always think, like, if that's why we're not popular, because we're not obnoxious in that way. Like, we're obnoxious, but in a whole different way of what I'm talking about. Like, there's this one guy in particular, and I really, like, I'm not doing this as a bit. I really don't know his name, but I friggin' hate the guy because I just can't stand his delivery. But you might know him. He starts every one of his videos where he's like, "What did I tell ya?" And then he goes into, like, and he never turns down that level of energy.
Oh, that's funny.
I fucking hate that guy, and I hate that everyone loves him.
That's funny.
Because that's the kind of guy that, like, way back in the day, if you saw him on the playground and he's doing that, you would just punch him in the face. And I wasn't even a playground bully. I was one of the guys who got the crap beat out of me all the time. But, you know, like, so I know my own kind. I'd be like, hey, he's supposed to be one of me. We're supposed to be on the same level, and it's not cool that he's now cool for some reason.
That's funny.
Where's my moment to shine? So then I start thinking, like, well, maybe I should just be an annoying asshole and start talking like that. But
yeah,
I wouldn't want to do that. I'd rather be a nobody than, I guess, sell out.
You know, from the very beginning, we always made this stuff for us and not for anyone else anyways. And that's the way it's going to continue.
That's the way it stayed. After all these years, we're staying true.
Oh, that's funny. So, like, you notice that little gap there? Can't get in there. It's like you're going to have to get a little helper who can fit. Yikes.
Yeah. What do you think those hieroglyphics say in the background?
Let's see. Well, you know those little plant things in Mario Brothers that you can't walk on unless you're Yoshi?
Those black ones?
Yeah, that just...
Those chomper things?
Yeah, open and close, like... He's holding one of those, but it's orange.
Oh, okay. I guess that's as good a guess as any. A lot of enemies in this game have shields and whatnot that'll deflect your hits.
Yeah,
so that's
sucks.
Kind of annoying too.
Everything in this game is expensive as well. And like that jumping thing really makes... I don't know, like you can't... It's too easy to get hit. You can't go through this game without taking a ton of damage.
But you're right, like, things are super expensive, and that's why they want you to sit there and grind like I did.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason we got through as quickly as we did, is because when we were playing, I had given you enough money that you were able to
keep on going.
Buy stuff from the stores.
Yeah.
So here's a Sphinx in a game. Typical, they ask you a bunch of stupid questions. Basically, it's like game trivia. Like, so in that last level, you had to do this, right? Like A, B, or C. Pick the right answer.
Just give it some catnip and let's move on.
And it's like, I'd rather just fight the boss or something. I've always found these kind of dumb.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's the worst is Alex Kidd with the whole, like...
rock, paper, scissors battles.
Yeah.
I'd rather have this than rock, paper, scissors battles. Because at least this has, like, a definitive answer. You can get it right or wrong.
Right, right. Well,
those rock, paper, scissors were just random number generator battles.
Yeah.
So you would get through the game, and without a save state, it's just not fair.
Yeah.
To have to die to that.
Yeah.
God, I always hated that game.
That
for
franchise is done it before more than once.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about the one we grew up with in particular, Miracle World.
Yeah, it's tough. Did you ever beat that?
No, but I got really far way back in the day. I got all the way to the last guy's castle.
Well, since you're a chump who uses save states, why don't you?
No. This was pre-save states, but like now, I thought about going back and playing it again with save states, and that might be nice.
Oh, you know what? Like we just opened the opportunity to do that
because you got that little add-on device for the Retro Freak.
Yeah,
Retron 5.
Retron 5, yeah.
Yeah, so now we can play Master System games. I don't understand why that wasn't a default thing.
I don't know
why that took so fucking long to do.
Know. And can you play Master System games on the Freak? There's too much to remember in a library the size that we have, and so I may be misspeaking, but I think it was on the Freak, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. One of these days, like we got to do a video of just our setup.
Yeah,
and I just recently cleaned this. Well, we recently moved. So, like, everything was in disarray, and then you don't like to keep things clean or
okay, you know what? I still have a few boxes that I have to go through. Everyone
How long
does
have we
that.
Moved? How long have we lived here?
Everyone does that.
And how long have we lived here?
Less than a year. Less than a year.
So it's
actually only been 4 months.
Has it really?
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic, huh?
Ugh. God, it feels like so much longer.
Does it? I feel like it just happened.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm still recuperating. Fuck, but that's the only reason I lost any weight is because I actually did some activity.
Moving all those boxes. But anyway, now we're all settled in. We got everything put away for the moment. We should record real quick before it gets all fucked up again. And just show everyone our setup.
That's funny. Yeah, I
show you the inside of the low score arcade.
Yeah, it sucks. It's nothing to be proud of.
I think it's kind of impressive. We don't have a shit ton of games, but we got a lot of shelves full. Like, there's a lot of games on them, but it's not like some of these mega collectors, who have like almost everything for every system.
Yeah, no, the only thing I pride myself in is like owning shit that no one else would want to own. You know what I mean? Or like the weirder the better. Like my Russian hack Genesis games, like those are so fucking bizarre and crazy. You can't just buy those.
Or those weird Japanese games that I still haven't played yet. Where like that one where you're a mosquito, and you just gotta fly onto hot bikini chicks and suck out blood.
Okay, so the first one is like, you're a mosquito and you're trying to get points by sucking blood, and like the second one, they made a sequel to that, and the second one is like on the beach in Hawaii or whatever. So that way it gave like an excuse for all the chicks to be in hot bikinis. So stupid.
Stupidly awesome. The only reason I haven't played that yet is because it's kind of a pain in the ass to
because it's a Japanese game.
Because it's on for the PlayStation 2, and so you need to put in that disc swap game into the system and then swap it out with the. It's kind of a hassle.
And you're like a fucking baby when it comes to like learning how to set up everything, because like every system
I hate it.
Has a different like way to put it all together, and it's for it to record. Like I'm the one who has to put it together. I'm like the fucking kid who has to hook up the VCR for mom and dad. Like,
yeah, well, that's I'm old. So I don't like crawling under the tables and pulling on wires and stuff.
You did, and you fucking broke the internet today.
My joints hurt and hurt my back. It's 6:07 p.m. right now. It's almost time for bed.
Oh boy. It's pathetic.
Back in my day, we didn't have lots of systems and setup.
Like, you know what? To learn how to hook something up, like the Commodore 64 to an HDMI, like.
But see, this is this is the problem. You're ripping on me for not liking setup and whatever. You just have too much dumb shit. Like, you just got this Commodore 64 with all these accessories, and then, like you said, the HDMI converter, whatever, and it's a nightmare. And so you've completely just taken over the entire desk behind us with that ancient crap.
That ancient crap is huge.
Yeah. And then, like, another thing you do is, like, I think I had the PlayStation 4 set up to record before you brought this in. So then you tear all the wires out, and then you hook up the Commodore, and I'm like, I'm never fucking playing the Commodore by myself.
Why?
Because it sucks. And then like you undid all my work with the PlayStation 4, and so like now I got to go back to my notes wherever the fuck those are.
That's the easiest because it's new technology talking to new technology.
No, it is the easiest, but I can't keep it all straight because we have damn near every system.
It's so funny.
We now have a fucking Philips CDI. It's broken right now. It's a paperweight, but we now own one. That's fucking retarded because way back in the day I said, like, we would never own one of those.
We got one.
And like I said, it's broken, so it's just taking up space, but like, we entertained that for
I want
a while.
my money back. Actually, I didn't pay anything for that.
Yeah, we got it for free, so we can't complain. And we got this whole stack of games, and they all say, like, demo, not for resale.
Yeah.
We have damn near the entire, like, Philips CDI video game library.
I have the box that it came in, and it came in from, like, Dillard's or Sears or something. It was the display thing, like, from the store.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, it's not the chip that's broken, because I actually got 2 new chips to put in, the ones with the battery, because, like, when that thing dies, the whole thing turns into a big paperweight. So if you're going to buy a CDI, you have to have a way to power that on to either bypass that battery or replace the battery altogether. Otherwise, the thing will never turn on. Well, I got power. It turns on. Something's wrong with the lens, the actual CD part. And it sucks.
So we just have a PI. CD parts busted.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like I said, we got too much shit. And then, like, just the other day, you brought home goddamn throat. You brought home a like a PlayStation virtual reality set with
the headset. God, man, like, that thing's weird. So, like, I'm thinking, like, this will be fun. Like, I'll put it on, and it will be like basically playing a game on a really big TV screen. You're not gonna get, like, the motion sickness or whatever, because, like, have you've been on roller coasters, like, that stomach feeling is happening because of, like, gravity and stuff. Nope. No. It's like that information to your eyes, like, you feel like you're on a roller coaster. It's funny because, like, that's the one game you got, like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a carnival full of evil zombie clowns, and you're on a roller coaster. But anyway, I told you when I used to play World of Warcraft, and, like, my character would be jumping from, like, a high cliff or something. I would just be sitting on my ass in my computer chair, but my character is jumping from this high height, and then I get that motion sickness thing in my stomach, like, oh god. And I just thought you were stupid, because, like how is that possible?
Yeah, it was just weird.
You've been playing, like, that game way too long that day.
Yeah, that's what it was. Is like I had just been living more life through that character than I was in real life, and so my brain adjusted.
That's what I, chalked it up to being or whatever. It's like, but I put that VR thing on, and, like, instantly I was immersed in that game, and it's tough.
Oh, let me interrupt you for just a second. So this is Wonder Boy, and we're in an ice castle. So everywhere you walk around, like you slip and slide, and so we had to get these things called ceramic boots to kind of help you not slip so much, but it still slips.
You're still slipping all over the place, and like ceramic boots wouldn't be helping you. Like logistically, think about it.
Yeah, I'm buying the little Grim Reaper magician dude, but ceramic boots, come on. But you can see how frustrating this is, and this is the edited footage.
Oh, there was rage quits like up the ass.
Yeah, this was the most frustrating part. But anyway, so you were talking about virtual reality and whatnot, Wave of the Future.
Yeah, it sucks.
I think like we played that game once. Like you bought like 10 you always go overkill. So like you bought that headset and like 10 friggin' games. We played the one carnival game. We all got sick from the roller coaster effect, and then we turned it off. Haven't fired that thing up since. And it's just like, it was only today. That was like 2 weeks ago, maybe. It was just today that I said, fuck it. And I just like pulled all the cards out and I put it away. Because it was sitting in the living room for so long. And I thought like, well, I could clean this up right now. But, you know, like it would be a big pain in the ass to hook this all up again. And we're definitely going to play it again, right?
No. I bought a case for it. That was the last thing I bought for it, so that way I could put it away without breaking it, because I think that's when I realized that, like, that's where that thing's gonna stay. That's its new home.
Yeah, it was a horrible purchase for you.
Yeah. It's just like, to play a game and you have to take Dramamine before playing it just seems like a really bad idea.
Well, and like maybe you could still record that footage, so maybe we could make a video out of it.
You know what's funny is because I knew that you were an asshole and you weren't gonna participate all that much with that VR. So when you put it on, I recorded you playing it. So I got like actual footage of you.
That will never be seen by anyone ever.
I didn't even care to get like the TV, really, like what it is. I just wanted you looking like an asshole.
And you do. You got this big goofy thing on your head, and then you're holding these two like glow wand things, and they're all lit up different colors.
It's like a really gay rave.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's like I got the part on film where you're like, oh man, like something's gonna jump out and scare me right now. I know it. I know. Just fucking do it already. And it happened, and you jumped.
Because it was scary.
You said you knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, but sometimes it just hits you the wrong way.
Oh man. And you know what sucks about that VR shit is like, you get tired from like holding your hands out. Like,
yeah,
you're playing Wonder Boy. Imagine you had to twirl that thing like like a jackass.
No, wasn't it like move. Twilight Princess? Nintendo wanted you to fight with this sword, like
like swing it.
Fuck off with that. I hate motion controls, and part of it is laziness. Like, I'm not here to exercise. Yeah. I'm here to sit on my ass and play a video game and enjoy it. Like when that game, that zombie clown carnival game, it tells you at a certain point, like just when you're setting up the VR thing, it says like, now hold out your hands straight in front of your face, so we can calibrate the controls. You don't want to do that. You want to hold them down on your lap, because otherwise it's going to make you hold your hands out for the entire gameplay, basically.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
But then like you also have to like move out of the way so you don't get hit by saws and like stuff that's like jumping out at you. Like, you look like a fucking idiot because you're moving around all crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing though, and I'm sure if anyone was listening to this, they would say the same thing. We're the assholes for expecting you not to move in a VR game. Like, that's what you're paying for. So like, you know, joke's on us. That was just a stupid purchase. But when you're playing a regular game and then they ask you to do motion controls, that's what's frustrating. Yeah. Like in the Breath of the Wild, the new Zelda, there's occasionally, every once in a while, Nintendo will be like, hey, remember us? We're Nintendo. This is a motion control puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, people hate that, right? And they're like, fuck you, we're Nintendo.
But yeah, but you know what? That sucks because, like the moment that I get old and I get Parkinson's or whatever, like, I'm never going to be able to play a game again. Because, like...
I don't think Parkinson's can play even just a straight-up game.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It depends on how bad it is. But, like, okay,
But yeah, when your arthritis is acting up and you just...
I already have that problem. I mean, I do hair for a living, so, like, my hands are all, like hurting all the time. And, like, when I was young,
this fucking thing in my left hand, it just, like, it hurts now all the time, and I didn't do anything to it. It's just like, it feels like I pulled a muscle or something.
Yeah, you pulled an old. You're old. So, like I sit in a rocking chair sometimes. I did not mean that to sound that way. Anyways, so, like, if you're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild and, like, I'm in that rocking chair and I got, like, the bow and arrow out, or I'm trying to do my amiibos, or I'm doing something, the controller, when it senses movement, it moves, like, it aims for you.
Oh, here's that missing reel, by the way. Like I said, corrupted footage. I couldn't salvage it, so sorry.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about it anyways. No, just joking.
Yeah.
So, like, you're on that rocking chair and it's moving, and so, like, your character is moving the screen. Like, imagine if you had, like, a tiny little tremor in your hand. Like,
yeah,
there's no fucking way that you could play that. Like, fucking Nintendo just broke the system for you.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of that, what's the deal with hard foods, man? Like, jeez. It's like, the pudding mush is fine. I can get through that and my applesauce, but holy Christ, some of these burgers and things, they're tough.
Have you had a bowel movement today? Oh, god damn it. You know what sucked about the Sega Master System version was Mouse Man, and now you're Mouse Man.
Yeah, this is funny. So, like you said before, in the earlier Wonder Boy 3, you changed. You had different curses put on you. You were a dragon, then you were a mouse, and then you were a piranha. In this game, you don't have that. You have this little buddy system instead. Except for this one part where they're like, hey, you're going to be small and essentially Mouse Man.
Yeah.
It's like, so you kept the worst transformation, knowing it was the worst, to make this level super difficult.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for this dragon constantly shooting fire, then you would be totally fucked in here.
You would. You absolutely would. Because your sword is so fucking short that, like, you would think that, like, oh, well, it's harder to get hit or something. It's like, no, it's harder to hit the enemies now.
Yeah, and this was so difficult. Like, earlier, like, the difficulty in that ice castle was, like, sliding around. That was just frustrating. This was so difficult that at a certain point, I thought this would be the end of the footage.
It almost
I was like, there's no way we're going to get through this, so that's the end of our long play.
Yeah.
But somehow we managed.
It's the dragon. He's the one that's the real hero.
Yeah. So I think we've run out of things to talk about. It's always the worst thing.
No, I had stuff to talk about. I'm just so old I can't remember.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's the problem with these super long videos too. See, like, smart people, I guess, like, section this off to, like, oh, here's part 1, part 2, whatever.
Yeah, see, we talked about that.
But I didn't want to do that because, like, I don't want, like, if someone wants to watch this whole thing, they can. If they want to skip it, they can.
Right.
Sometimes I don't like it when someone does a video of, like, some super long game,
and now
it's now 150 parts or 200 parts. It's like, come on, man, that's a bit too long.
Yeah. Well, and if they release, like, something once a week, it's like, oh man, for the next month,
this would just be the Wonder Boy channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the Wonder Boy channel. We wouldn't even be able to do all the Wonder Boys because, like, some of them are Adventure Islands. It would still be too confusing.
You know, it sucks is, like, you gotta run, like, to these wings. Like, so you're going, like, to the far left and then you hit a switch, which opens something so you can go to the far right so you can hit a switch. So you can then go, you know, somewhere else and then hit a switch. And it's just, it's so repetitive and it's so easy to die. And if you die, you gotta do this whole fucking, like, run all over again.
And the worst part is, like, you just saw just now, you killed that one guy and you got a tiny heart.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, great. So, does that happen often?
Nope.
No, those things are rare.
Yeah. Nice cut there, by the way.
What?
Or was that a glitch? Because, like, it just, like, you know, the snakes moved.
Oh, yeah. No, sometimes I do that because, like, you would go into the menu. This is another thing. Editing this footage, like, you're hardly ever, if ever, seeing the menu. Because every time you hit pause to, like, switch a different sword or whatever, I cut that out.
Yeah.
And I tried to make it seamless, but sometimes you're moving while you hit pause, and, like, I couldn't keep it, you know?
Yeah, you have, like, spells and shit, and you have to... You know, switch over to the sword so you can break this block, and like this.
You're constantly accessing that menu.
Yeah.
So I tried to get rid of that, and because I didn't want this video to be super fucking long, and that part would be tedious.
Yeah.
To see that constantly, like you going through your inventory.
Yeah. But like, you know, I'm at the store and I want to check out, you know, Wonder Boy. For the Sega Genesis, it's like, hey, am I gonna buy this? Like, let me pop open, you know, Torture Vision, because like I know that like they'll like tell me the truth, or like I'll at least see honest, you know, gameplay, and then I'll know if I want to buy this piece of shit or not.
Like, they just beat this. This is too fucking easy. I'm
Go
not gonna waste my money for this.
Yeah, go to the end and see if we actually beat it. And then you're like, yeah, okay, this one's worthy.
We do that all the time when we go to the used game store. Haven't been there in a long ass time, or at least I haven't. But like when we would see a game that we hadn't ever seen before, instead of just buying it sight unseen, we'd go to YouTube and just like take a look at it. And God, that saved us so much money.
Yeah, it really.
There's so many games where we're like, oh fuck no, this looks terrible.
Absolutely.
The cover looks great, but this looks terrible.
Yep. Or Jesus Christ, I'm not paying that for that. Like, it's funny how like the prices on some of these games are outrageous.
Yeah.
Again, another reason why I like some weird shit. I mean, like, there's this sumo wrestling game that I thought would be really funny, but it's like $90. It's like, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. But you know, someone who's got that out in the wild, like they don't realize that it's, you know, even a good game. So when you see it at like the local store, it's like you gotta pick it up.
Meanwhile, you see how many times you hit this guy in the face, and you're still like, now you just got him down to 2 bars.
Yeah.
So painful. So yeah, I cut out a big portion of this because who wants to watch that?
Yeah. Fucking Mouse Man sucks. He never should have been part of the game. And you make that mistake once, you know, like...
It wasn't a mistake, though. That's the challenge. They're making a game that's challenging.
Yeah.
You don't like the challenge because you're not a true gamer.
It's like... I enjoy actually playing the game when you're like, okay, like,
I enjoy having fun, okay?
Yeah, exactly. When you're like, okay, like I'm getting my ass kicked, like I'm gonna do a serious attempt. You do the serious attempt, and if you can't get through it, then it's like, fuck this game. This game's broken. I should be able to, like, if I really put my mind to it, I should be able to do this. I don't need to get like a fucking doctorate degree to learn how to, like, how many pixels do I have to, like, what are, like really good gamers, they go so beyond.
Does everyone deserve a trophy?
No, but I mean, I fucking bought the game. I should be able to at least get through it. Call me a pussy at the end of it. Like, oh, you played it on baby? Oh, Wolfenstein, daddy, can I play? Like, shame me. I'm good for that. I can handle it.
So you're okay with when they you play through the whole game on the wussiest baby mode, and then at the end they're like, oh, but you didn't get the real ending.
Yeah, that's stupid. But then I'm like, yeah, but I played the game, I got the experience, I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch a man play it at the end. And that's all I needed. I didn't need to get my ass beat to fucking enjoy something. Like, that's someone
here's the thing.
who likes, like S&M and shit.
Yeah, no, I understand the need for challenge, and I totally understand, like, not being able to play certain games myself. Like, some games just aren't for me. Some challenges aren't for me. But there are things that, like, I see that, like, are super challenging just to be ridiculous, and they were just meant to be time wasters. And I think, like, sometimes, like, okay, my kid self was cool with just doing this all weekend long because that's all I had to do.
Yeah.
My adult self has little tolerance for that now.
Yeah. Fucking, like, taxes ruin that. You're an adult now. You gotta go to work. You gotta, pay the bills and stuff. It's like, I don't got time for that kind of petty shit. Like, I want to play the game and I want to get through the whole thing. And if you're gonna shame me, fine. I get it. But I should at least be able to get through it. I'm not a fucking invalid. Like, I'm somewhat decent at playing games. Like,
as we just watched you hit each and every one of those armor guys, like you didn't learn once.
Oh, this looks like the very first level of the Master System.
Like, even apes will learn, like, when they press certain buttons that, like, they'll get rewards or punishments.
Oh. How come you didn't play this?
Because
this is all me.
I had played it twice already, like once long time ago, like parts of it with my friend, and then, well, hey, there was no YouTube back then. We didn't record every stupid little thing we ever did. So then I played it again on the emulator. So I figured I'd give you a chance to enjoy the game. And also, I didn't feel like playing it.
Yeah, this looks just like the beginning of the Master System one. It's got the same bad guys in it.
A throwback to Wonder Boy 3, sort of. They give you the same music and everything.
Yeah, I was just going to say the music, too.
So, yeah, the music in this game's great. I like the look of this game. I think they did a really good job with it, presentation-wise.
What's funny is, remember Mega Man X, when you were on, like, the roller coaster type thing? That's what this kind of reminded me of. Yeah.
Oh, so there's your legendary boots. Like, you get legendary armor, shield, sword, whatever. That's like your Wonder Boy's version of the Master Sword. Like, that's the best you can get in the game. So, yeah, I can't remember. Like, the legendary stuff's hidden all over the place. It's kind of a bitch to get the full set. But we did, eventually, I believe.
I think so. Did you get, like, invincibility?
No.
When you put them all together? No?
No, because remember in the previous... I can't remember what this is. I always forget this. What it was. There's some kind of combination or something you can put together. Or no, it's just like if you just wear the Hades armor in Wonder Boy 3, then you get invincibility. You can never die.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
A long time ago, I thought... Like, we had this conversation in Wonder Boy 3, but... the like,
lore, what we thought was
I thought it was a big combination of shit. And some people will still tell you to this day on game FAQs and shit that it's a combination of stuff.
It's because, like, you're playing the game and it just happened, and
then you think it's lucky. A glitch, and you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. And you're like that bowler who's, like, got, like, his whole, like, routine down before every throw. It's like, I'm gonna... tap my shoe this way or whatever. Like, I realized, like, my fly was down before I just threw that strike, and that was my turkey. So now I gotta, like, zip my fly every time I go to throw or something. Like, stupid.
Meanwhile, I slowed that scene down because I expected us to be talking about this game at the time. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that, like, this jump, that thing that you did was like super difficult. Yeah. You saw, like, 3 attempts.
Yeah.
In reality, there were probably like 100.
100? Yeah.
And you
such
see how
bullshit.
Yeah, it is frustrating. But I cut out all those failed attempts, obviously.
And every time you fail, it's like you gotta, like jump back into like fighting those bad guys.
Yeah, you got to go off screen because that rope thing never goes down.
Yeah.
So you got to go off screen and then come back here to reset the ropes, and obviously that resets the bad guys.
I don't even care about the money. Did you see that?
Well, I mean, at this point, look how much money you have, and you're now like the legendary armor that you need to pick up isn't sold in the stores.
Right.
So pretty much there's not really much room for, not much need for money at this point.
Which sucks because like you had to grind in the beginning because you needed to buy like super expensive shit, and then after a certain point, it's like the bad guys start dropping these giant sacks of money. Like, let's see what this is as soon as we pick it up.
If you don't get it, but it's typically like in the $500 range. Oh,
that's almost $2,000.
Yeah, that one was super big.
And so like you start collecting money like mad when you don't even need it.
Especially in the last castle, that's kind of funny. Okay, so this is incredibly frustrating. And I don't know how I ever did this on a fucking keyboard. But
my hands
had a
were
lot of
hurting
patience
with the controller.
Okay, so you kill this guy, right? And then you go up here into this next room, and now you're on these platforms that disappear. If you fall, like you just did, now you gotta fight that fucking dragon over again. So that's why I slowed it down.
And you lose life every time you fight him.
Oh, because he's smacking you around. So now, like, this is what you gotta do. Jump back and forth. And it's really, like, touch and go. Like, sometimes you'll clearly land on the platform. But, see, you're so frustrated at this point. Like, I couldn't cut that out. That's the safe thing. But, like, it's so...
It's that trolley bullshit that I was talking about. Like, look at this nonsense. God, this is making me mad just watching it again.
And this is just a tiny portion of what you did.
Like, look at this. This fucking jumping, like, nonsense. It's so infuriating.
And you don't know where anything's gonna go, so it's just trial and error. So, like,
exactly,
you gotta fail a bunch of times. Save. Right now, your hands are shaking and they're all super sweaty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. Yeah, I was almost certain that this would be the end of the game.
Yeah.
But then here we go. So we got this boss here who's a big dickhead. Like you cut off one of his heads, he grows another head. You cut off that head, he grows another head. Super difficult boss, and it's like, well, by the time we got here, you didn't have any elixirs on you.
And I don't have enough life.
I don't think. But yeah, either way, you don't have enough life to kill this guy. And it's like, well, you could go back, make sure you got enough life and get an elixir, but are you gonna do that jumping platform thing again?
Right. And then hopefully like do it well enough that I don't lose enough life in the process to get back here.
Because every time you fall off those platforms, you gotta fight that dragon beast.
Yeah.
So,
and even with the save states, like it's impossible to guarantee like full life to get to this guy. And I tried over and over and over again, and fuck this game.
so yeah, that's our failed long play because that was our best attempt.
Though.
That was the best attempt. He could not beat that boss, and there was no way we were gonna reset and do that platform thing again.
And there's no way that Brad ever beat this game because
I'm telling you, I did.
If he did, then we would have seen the end.
I could describe the end. I could describe the ending.
Yeah, because you saw it on YouTube.
But no, that's what you would claim.
I could show everyone my progress and how far I got.
Well, anyway, that's the episode.
I'll beat it when you beat it.
No, we're just retiring this game.
Yeah, but check out the new Wonder Boy and check out Monster Boy when it comes out for the Switch. That's going to be awesome.